Hello, we're here with the first draft league video in a long time. As you can see, in my Insurgence League, of which I made a introduction video that should be up already. Not what when recording, but when uploading, it should be live. As you can see, it's not the first week, but it will obviously be the first game out. Oh, huh. No, I'll just. Never mind. First, I'll just go over the team I drafted so you have any idea of what I have to work with. I'll try to remember which order I drafted these. But first off, I drafted MELOETTA Delta Mime, which, if you don't know, which probably you might, but if you don't know, this thing has the sets of MELOETTA Pirouette, which means it's very fast, very strong physically speaking. Its other sets are all mediocre, but that doesn't really matter because this thing hits hard and is fast. That's pretty much what it does. Bunch of coverage moves. The punches: Fire Punch, Ice Punch, Thunder Punch. Gets knockoff, play rough, quick attack, it's U-turn, taunt, switcheroo, Zen headbutt. It gets a bunch of moves. Nasty plot if you want to run special, but like mostly you'll just run coverage physical. And this thing just has a bunch of coverage, which is exactly what I like using. You'll probably see in like the sets I run, like just 4 moves. Expert belt is like my standard set for this thing because it just hits everything so hard and super effectively, pretty easily with its insane coverage. And its stab is like unresisted except for fairy. Wait, does anything except for dark types for which you get like drain punch. So like, wait, dark types don't resist. Never forget I said anything. What is there anything or resistant stabs? Fire types get hit by dark moves. Fighting types get super affected by fairy. There's no single type that resists both stabs, so that's. It just means the stabs are like really spammable, and I really just wanted to use it. And you might see that it's been going pretty well so far using this thing, but no spoilers. Next up, I saw this mon around in round 2, and if I ever see this mon in round 2, I can't not grab it. Like, I just can't not grab round 2 Mew. And this includes the moves it gets from Sword and Shield, like Spikes, Toxic Spikes, Aura Sphere, Brave Bird, Bug Buzz, Close Combat, Darkest Lariat, just a bunch of moves. Not like it just gets so much. There's nothing Mew can do. If I need Mew to do something, Mew can do that, which is exactly why I love Mew so much. It's my favorite mon to use in draft format, period. I have never lost a league using Mew, so let's see if I can continue that streak. So yeah, Mew, versatile, I love it, it's very good. Um, and I'll try to use it as offensively as possible, but my team is already pretty offensive, so it might be forced into defensive roles more than I'd like to, but even then it can do those very well. Next up, I think I drafted. Like, I had no idea where my draft was going by this point. I was just grabbing things I liked, and that meant I grabbed my favorite Delta at that point. I don't know if mine might have overtaken that spot, but or one of my other Deltas might have taken that spot, but like definitely one of my favorites, and it's Delta Superior. It's really good. It's really good. It's a water dragon type, meaning it's only weak to fairy and dragon. Its abilities are insane. It's multi-skill and drizzle, Both are really good. Gets Calm Mind, Coil, Dragon Dance, gets Earthquake, Glare, Knock Off, Ice Beam, Scald, Slack Off, Thunderbolt, you even get like Thunder I think. It gets Thunder, so it gets runs Thunder and Rain. U-Turn, Tailwind, I guess. It gets so much. And it can set up so easily with multi-skill. You can set up Dragon Dance, you can set up Coils, you can set up Calm Minds. It's reliable recovery. Glare is really annoying to work around. Especially, electric types can switch into this thing kinda, but a Surf or Hydro Pump in Rain is gonna hurt really badly to most electric types. And yeah, this gives me like the option to run like rain things, which I might do. Spoiler. But yeah, this thing is just in general, it hits really hard in rain. Like its stats are not phenomenal, like it's just at superior stats, which is like superior. Its speed is good, but superior is mostly good because of Leaf Storm boosting itself, which is contrary. But this thing just has so many options, and its typing is phenomenal, which honestly is, it just makes it so reliable. And next I have no idea. What did I grab next? Um, it I think no, not this thing. I think it was this or the other one. I'll just talk about this first. Delta Mach is another really fun Delta. It's pure ground and it has water absorb and Sap Zipper. So you can in every matchup in draft you can just every matchup is Sap Zipper better or is water absorb better. And even if you have like Sap Zipper, you can run like a Pastio Berry to eat a water hit. Like grass types don't beat this thing, which is insane in my opinion. Its coverage is decently good. It doesn't get Ice Punch unfortunately, but it gets like other punches, Gunk Shot, Earthquake obviously. Gets a knockoff, Iron Head, Stealth Rocks, very reliable Stealth Rocker. Gets Recover, which is one of the reasons it's insanely good, and I love using it. Gets Taunt, Sucker Punch, Toxic of course. Also, I should say, home moves. Like this thing, this league just allows everything. So Pursuit still exists, Hidden Power still exists, except for Gen 8 Pokemon, they don't get Hidden Power or Pursuit or Toxic. Well, unless they get it by level up, Toxic by level up. Point is, if they don't, if something ever learns something and the moves are compatible technically, then it's allowed. Yeah. So this thing is just very reliable Stealth Rocker, good Spadef, good bulk overall, decent attack. It's just very solid and it does what it has to do most matchups. And that's Muck. Next up, I drafted either this thing or Muck. I don't know. I drafted these two next to each other. I'm pretty sure. So Delta Snorlax. It's Delta Snorlax. It's a good boy. It's a grass type with thick pad and adaptability, but mainly thick pad. Thick pad is insane. Thick pad is just really good. It just like this thing's Spadef is insane, like regular Snorlax, and its Fizdef is also usable. So you just, even though this thing is like weak to fire, in week 1 I brought it as my fire resist. Because it's the only thing on my team that can reliably switch into Delta Chandelure. Because it takes like less than like, I think Specs did like 49% or something max. I don't know the exact count, but like this thing could eat 2 and survive and do a lot of damage back with Earthquake. Also gets like bulk up the setup, it's Fizdef that's less good, Gyro Ball, Knockoff, Leaf Storm, Play Rough, Rock Slide. gets good coverage, but it's mainly just an insanely reliable grass type. An insanely reliable Spadafmon ground resist. To be fair, when I drafted this thing, I thought it got Ice Punch because I messed up the coding and it got all the moves that Punch Select got. So it's like, it doesn't get those moves. So that's unfortunate, but it's still insanely reliable and just. This entire draft is pretty much reliable, and I love reliable. That's why I love most of the mons on my draft a lot. Next up, I think I grabbed Claydol. I'm not sure. I think I grabbed Claydol, then this, then yeah. Doesn't really matter. Claydol is a solid ground type, secondary ground type. Ground immunity with levitate. It's a rapid spinner because I was struggling with hazard removal, which, if yeah, fair. My hazard removal was like Mew up to that point, and it gets nasty plot now, I think, and like stored power. Yeah, wait, does it get stored power? It does get stored power now. It gets teleport for momentum, rock spin, just standard moves pool of Claydol. It's just a Claydol. It's good at what it does, and it just does that. Yeah, Claydol. Like it gets body press too. Honestly, I'm discovering what Claydol does right now because I didn't really know this. But Claydol is not bad. Claydol just reliable. I might drop it, but it's a pretty good mon. And it's a more secondary psychic type instead of Mew. So Mew could be more offensive, but I don't know how that's going. I might drop Claydol, but Claydol's pretty cool. Then I have Toxicroak, which in raining can run Dry Skin or current Anticipation is pretty good too. Poison Touch is decent. It's dual dance, can benefit in rain. It's relatively fast. It's a fighting type, which is nice. T-Spike's Absorber, a lot of priority options, setup options. It's a knockoff. It gets Sucker Punch, Taunt, Throat Chop. It also gets Pursuit, which is nice because, as I said, it's not gone. Baton Pass too. I did not know that it got Baton Pass. But like Toxicroak, pretty cool. Fighting type fits speed tiers pretty well, so I thought might as well grab it because it's I like Toxicroak. It's pretty cool, man. Next up, I think I grabbed this thing, Delta Fracture. Delta Fracture was a tier 5, and that's my mistake. It should not have been a tier 5, because you get Swift Swim with Eviolite, and then it just clicks Swords Dance. With base 117 attack and speed high enough to outspeed like literally everything. Like this thing is fast enough to outspeed like base 105 Scarfers, which is dumb. In raining and between base 105 Scarfers, it boosts an insane attack stat. It's like solid coverage. Aqua Jet, Aqua Tail, Draco Jet is priority dragon. It's Ice Fang, Outrage, Superpower, X-Scissor. Like its coverage is not insane, but like in rain, what eats a +2 Aqua Tail? If you don't resist it, you don't eat it, you die. You just died to this thing. Like if you look at Swift Swim, this thing is stronger than Omastar. This thing is okay, not as strong as Swampert or Delta Dragonite, but like it's almost as strong as Barraskewda. That's insane. Barraskewda is really fast and really strong, and this thing just is faster and stronger. Assuming it's not Swift Swim, which it probably is, but regardless. Um, it's just a really good budget sweeper. Then I might have gotten my Mega at this point. Mega Delta Typhlosion Supercell is a Specs in Rain. Yeah, it's a Specs in Rain. Also, Motor Drive is pretty good as a pre-Mega ability, boosting its speed. Um, this is pretty much the set you run in if you want to abuse Rain, because this thing has 160 base special attack, 109 speed, and like decent other sets. Electric Steel has like 3 weaknesses. Ground fighting fire. Fire is neutralized by rain. Ground you have Magnet Rise if you want to run it. Can also run Dazzling Gleam, Dark Pulse. Um, Grass Knot, Energy Ball might be better. It depends on matchup. Shadow Ball, Signal Beam. You can run Volt Switch too if you don't intend to take advantage of the rain too much. But this thing just hits insanely hard and there are no resists. Like trying to find a Typhlosion resist, that's not easy. It's not easy at all. So yeah, this thing hits really hard and it's like decently fast. Like my speed tests are pretty good. Like 128, 112, 109, 100. There's like a good amount of fast things. Then like it doesn't go down that fast. It's like 90, 85, 75, 67, 65. It's like, yeah. Speeders are pretty good. This thing is just really scary for a lot of things. Then I think I grabbed my another tier 5 Delta Lilligant Fairy. There's also a Delta Lilligant Water, and that thing is way better than this because it gets like Regenerator and Tail Glow, and it's a water fire type that's immune to both its stabs with abilities. So yeah, this thing is like a defogger, which is why I got it pretty much. It's a cleric kinda, doesn't get wish, but it gets some moves, gets roost, gets thunderbolt for some reason, gets heat wave, focus blast, gold mind. Yeah, like it gets serene grace, but it doesn't get air slash. Like it's literally token kiss, but it doesn't get air slash, which sucks. So like there's like hurricane is in the rain, I guess, is 60% chance to confuse, which is awful. Just in general, it's awful. Moonblast, like it's okay support. It was like the best that was left, and it's a delta, so it's like plus points for being a delta. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It hasn't come to a game yet because like I have like a ton of really good Pokemon that I would want to bring to every single game, but it might have its matchups here and there. Um, yeah, it's alright. Next up, I last pick. I think I still had my tier 2 slot open. I had no idea what I wanted, so I just grabbed the thing that I didn't want the least because I didn't want anything. But Scissor is good. I like Scissor. The Scissor in Rain is Scissor with less weaknesses, pretty much. Like this thing in one of the games, it just took a really strong fire type move and survived, like pretty easily because of Rain and Okaberry. So like Scissor, Scissor the Scissor things, Technician, Bullet Punch, Swords Dance, U-Turn, Defog, Bug Bite, Knockoff, Superpower. Also gets Pursuit, it's Scissor. Not really anything special, it's Scissor. It just fit okay, and I like using it. It's just nice to have another defogger because I only had 3 and a spinner, and they're not great. Like I don't want to bring all like half of the removers I didn't want to bring to most games, and the other one is Mew. I don't want to bring default Mew, period. So I didn't want to be forced into default Mew in case I was against a spike stack team or just annoying hazards that I didn't want to deal with. So yeah, that's the team. First week I was against SilverSmasher, great player in general, probably way better than I am, but regardless, I'm gonna doing my best. Gonna do my best. Um, if I he is, I'll try to find his team because he made some changes, and I don't know exactly what changes. Uh, his team was where are the transactions? His transactions. His team was uh, MELOETTA Pirouette, Delta Chandelure, Shaman, Nidoqueen, Glycospot, Articuno, Mega Bisharp, Garchomp, Necrozma, Rotom Fan, and Servine Delta. Threats are MELOETTA Pirouette is a huge threat. Garchomp is a huge threat. Shaman was defensively like hell to prep against. Bisharp was insane to prep against because it's just so strong and has like Moxie after Mega and Defiant pre-Mega, so like it's really annoying to work around. Um, Chandelure has Fairy Aura boosted Moonblasts. There are very little switch-ins to Fairy Aura boosted Moonblasts, especially when my Steel type dies to Ember. So yeah, and the other one is another not really a resist. So yeah, even Scizor gets like 2-hit KO'd, which is insane. And Necrozma is like, I didn't know how to prep against Necrozma. I just brought, I don't know what I brought. What did I bring? I brought this team. So, a MELOETTA Pirouette with extra belt, filter, Ice Punch, Drain Punch, U-turn, knockoff, E-belt for attacks, extremely standard me set, Ice Punch for the Garchomp, Drain Punch for Ice Punch also for the Shaman and Nidoqueen, and that's kinda it. And Rotom Fan, Drain Punch is for MELOETTA because I actually do it, like I might 1v1 MELOETTA depending on the set with Drain Punch. And Bisharp obviously dies to it while I don't take anything from Sucker Punch because I 4 times resist Sucker Punch. And anything else? No, everything. Knockoff is there for the Necrozma kinda. Weakness policy I have to watch out for. Same with U-turn. Knockoff just in general is a really good move. And I wasn't really the best knockoff switch in on my opponent's team. Like his knockoff resist was MELOETTA Pirouette. Like I don't care if I knock that thing off. That helps regardless. Anything else is a resist. Bishop dies to Drain Punch, so I don't really care. Um, and that's I think the knockoff resists. And U-turn is just insanely good for momentum. And yeah, and max speed because I want to do speed tie with the opponent MELOETTA. Then I had Mew with Dragon Dance, Psychic Fangs, Leech Life, and Protect. Beginnium Z. Beginnium Z was because +1 Leech Life. There's like 70% or something. I don't know. I'm just guessing. Like 70% to Necrozma because of Prism Armor. But Z is like a guaranteed kill. So I wanted the Z because I didn't want to trigger weakness policy if possible. Leech Life is also very nice because it kills Shaman and it kills everything that Psychic Fangs doesn't kill pretty much. Like Psychic Fangs resists were Necrozma, Megabish, and anything else. Necrozma, Mega Bish, and yeah, that's it. There was no other resist. And Protect was there just because I didn't want to get hit with first impression from the Glycopod. And if I would not have Protect, first impression would kill me. And I don't want that. So, and Psychic Fangs has a chance, depending on set and spread, to activate emergency exit, so it would not be able to deal with me at all. Next, I have Death Valley, the Delta Muck with Yachi Berry for what was Yachi for? Yachi was for the probably like anything with ice coverage. Probably anything with ice coverage. Um, Rodent Fan, maybe HP Ice, Mellow with Ice Punch. Probably Mellow. This thing was my first Deathmon. It's probably from Mellow's Ice Punch. Nidoqueen with Ice Beam also could be covered with this. Rocks Earthquake recover Toxic. Everything I could Earthquake Toxic, and yeah. It also Tap Zipper I wall every Shaman that does not have Toxic. And I can Toxic it. I know it has Natural Cure. But Shaman is like the biggest threat. Like Fist F Shaman, walls this, walls this, walls this, walls this, walls this. I needed something for Shaman. And this thing just clicks Toxic against it to wear it down a little bit. And every little bit helps. Yeah, okay. Next up I have Snorlax, Earthquake Synthesis, Roar Toxic. Roar is for the Necrozma, and for anything else, not really for it's for the Necrozma. Toxic is for Toxic. Synthesis, it's like the same set as this thing, like Earthquake, Synthesis, Toxic, Earthquake, Recover, Toxic. This thing is Stealth Rock, this thing is Roar. It's the exact Mombus this with that. Also, it's my Chandelure resist, because Chandelure can't touch this with Thick Fat. Leftovers, just recovery. No real other item I would want to run. So leftovers works. Then I have Superior with leftovers, multi-scale, Slack of Glare, Surf and Ice Beam. Glare is just annoying to deal with. Cycle for recovery, Surf Ice Beam. Surf hits everything but Shaman, Ice Beam hits Shaman. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, Surf hit everything except Shaman. And then I had Scissor because I wanted something to deal with Shaman. Like, I had nothing for Shaman. Like, Shaman will probably have HP Fire and Earth Power because of my Typhlosion and my Scissor, but regardless, I'll probably live 1 HP Fire, unless it's like offensive and U-turn kills from full, probably. I don't know. It's been too long since I've done these calcs. Bullet Punch does a bunch of damage. Defocus is there in case Toxic Spikes, Nidoqueen comes, and I don't want to deal with Toxic Spikes. And Vacuum Wave just does a lot of damage to the Bisharp, which is a big threat, to be honest. And Vacuum Wave just hits that really hard. And I don't know if it gets fire coverage, but like, it'll probably click a knockoff, it won't click Sucker Punch. Would the hell expect Vacuum Wave? I wouldn't, probably. I don't know. But okay, that's my team. This is the battle. My opponent brought the I know this is not the replays aren't perfect in the slightest, but they'll work. The spiders that you don't see are all deltas. So my opponent brought Garchomp, MELOETTA Pirouette, Delta Chandelure, Shaman, Nidoqueen, and the Glycopod. For lead out, what was I thinking? I don't even know what I led. I'll just see what happens. I led with my Superior because if opponent led Roxmons, I could punish Roxmons. Also, nothing took this out in one hit, and I could like be annoying things. So I let with Glyspot I go off Surf, and that Surf damage actually mattered way more than it should, but yeah. I just click Surf here. I click Glare. Either it doesn't really matter what he did, and here Shaming gets fully paralyzed. Like after in the game, I thought it might have mattered a bit, but after the game, I realized like okay, next turn I switch into Scissor, and Shaming gets paralyzed again. But after the game, I realized that that did not matter because it clicked HP Fire the first time against my Delta Serp, and I would have done like nothing. And the second time, he clicked Seed Flare against Scissor, and I would have done like 10%. So yeah. But here I am faster than the Shaman, and I am able to go for the Bandit U-turn, chunking something, anything really hard. So, and here I fearing Scarf Chomp. Instead of going into Mellow, I go into Snorlax. I should have probably gone for Roar here, but I didn't. I went for Toxic instead, and I just decided to sack my Superior because it didn't really do too much in this game. Here I go into MELOETTA, just claiming kill, knowing it wasn't faster, and it's just the best one to be able to go into. He goes out into the Shiny, probably Scarfed. I go into my Delta Snorlax and I take 30% from a Fairy Aura boosted Moonblast. So that's very nice. It goes into Nidoqueen as I go into my Muck. Sludge Wave does nothing. Earthquake does a lot. It goes into Shaming. He probably wasn't aware I could have. Either he didn't know I could have Step Sipper, or he thought I had Water Absorb, but I definitely was Step Sipper. And I Toxic the Shaman. He does go switch out immediately, so my Toxic was wasted, but he couldn't do anything against me either. He goes for the first impression here. This is an arguable play. Maybe he went for the first impression, predicting him to click Liquidation, going into Snorlax, and instead doing a lot of damage to Snorlax, or something like that. But yeah, I probably shouldn't have gone into Scissor here, but it worked out, so I'll take it. And I just go for another choice, Bandit U-turn. Does a bunch of damage as he goes into Nidoqueen. Here I go into Mew, and I just set up a Dragon Dance in this thing's face. Bonnet is smart and doesn't allow me to just set up for free. Go for Psychic Fang. Here he goes into Glycipod. Going for the first impression on my Protect, which is why I'm really happy I put Protect on. Trigger the emergency action. Sadly, I don't do quite enough damage to kill it next time, so I probably will die then, but that's unfortunate. Here I just pop the Z move because there's no Necrozma, and I kill the Shaman. Goes back into Glyspot with heavy duty boots. Liquidation doesn't really matter what he clicked. I protect regardless, and he goes for the liquidation again. Going into MELOETTA, just picking off this thing as he goes into Chandelure. I just sacked this thing to Scarf Flamethrower. Didn't have a reason to switch out. Didn't have a purpose anymore. So I just went into my Snorlax as I just walled this thing infinitely. Like a super effective Flamethrower did 20%. Like, it's not a threat. Here I went for Earthquake, and here I do have to say that as he goes into MELOETTA. This MELOETTA is banded, and it's gonna do not much damage. And that's because Return did not work properly, because it has like, so there was some happiness thing like changed in Gen 8 that makes like max something with happiness. Like, the thing is that Return and Frustration are gone in those games. It's like somehow the happiness was set to 160. I don't know why. It's just annoying. But he didn't have max happiness as he went for Return. So I don't think he was. I think he had like a 0% chance to kill the Snorlax, even with Bandit. But he did have a chance to kill. Here he had a chance to kill my Muck. It wasn't my favor, and I did offer him to restart, see what role he would have gotten, like pretend that would have been the role he would have gotten, but he just he just gave me the win because the roll was in my favor. And yeah, if I got the damage off, Scissor would have killed. If I didn't get the damage off, Scissor wouldn't have killed and would have died due to frustration. So yeah, good game to Silver. Well, very well played. He just struggled with the Mew set. Protect on Mew really helped me out a lot. Um, and Snorlax and Muk Snorlax and Muk together just form a really annoying defensive core. Nothing really wants to deal with, but yeah. Uh, and Scizor, in the end, very strong. Um, yeah, that was my game. GG's to Silver. Um, Still, he's a great player, and I don't think there was too much hacks. But yeah, I really like this team, and hopefully I can continue the win streak in future games. And yeah, see you then.